You're listening to the Kazual Sportz Show.
Palmer stepping away at first. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory.
The show exclusively known as the voice of the Arizona Cardinals fan club, the Bird Gang.
Fitzgerald inside the 30, the 20. Larry Fitzgerald is insane.
Now with your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E.
Bird Gang on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bird Gang.
And welcome into the Casual House Bird Gang Sons Nation. It is Tuesday night and another edition of the Kazual Sportz Show brought to you by the good folks at Casa and the new sponsor, Customer First Solutions. I'm your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E, and it's another wonderful night in sports that we're going to give you our perspective. And, of course, it is Tuesday night, and I am doing a solo show, so you know what that means.
Here I go again on my own. Here I go again on my own. Here I go again on my own.
If you want to follow this show, go ahead and hit us up on our 4 major outlets on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube page. And go ahead and download the mobile apps for Android and iPhone and get these wonderful shows on this network at your beckoning call. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the website where you can get all the articles come right to your email. You get everything before everybody else gets it. www.ksrnaz.com is the spot. The website is awesome. You can get all the articles that we put up there, all the latest of what's going on. Our perspective, of course, like I said before, of Arizona sports. Like I said also before, this show is brought to you by the folks at CASA, court-appointed special advocates. You want to be a volunteer to be a foster parent and help get some of these kids out of the system and represent them in the courthouse. Go ahead and hit us up at www.ksrnaz.com or give us a call on that KSRN hotline at 602-563-KSRN. 602-563-KSRN. That's 5776. If you want to volunteer and be a foster parent through CASA, we can get all their information and pass it on to them and get you in contact with them. Our other sponsor, Customer First Solutions, where you as a customer don't only come first, but your home is first priority as well. For all your home care needs, from plumbing to painting to electrical and all repairs for your home, Customer First Solutions is the one-stop spot for all home care needs. Give them a call at 480-877-0255. 480-877-0255, and you can communicate with them via text due to the COVID-19 protocols in place. They can give you a quote, and they can give you an estimate and all those things via text if you send them detailed pictures of the job that is in question. Customer First Solutions. The old saying still counts. The customer is always first. What's up, Bird Gang? And it's another edition of the Kazual Sportz Show. And, man, Tuesday night, some serious NBA basketball went down Tuesday night. And we're going to talk about that in a minute and that choke job the Clippers did tonight. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before I do that, I have some Bird Gang news that I'd like to get out and some announcements to make.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent
Bird Gang
news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen, and listen, and listen.
All right, Bird Gang, the announcements tonight are our girl down at the Be Daring Foundation, Michelle DeMuria. She is doing a health Mental Health Summit. It's called Pave the Way Mental Health Summit, November 4th through the 7th. And it's going to be a workshop where it can help all those who are dealing with someone they know or themselves going through mental health issues. Such a subject that is touchy for most people, but at the same time has to be discussed and has to be brought forth to some people that can help you. And Michelle is doing an awesome job being a ambassador for this mental illness. People need to be aware of it, first of all, and they need to be able to share it with someone. You want to get in touch with this foundation, the Be Daring Foundation, and get some help, or you know someone that is in need of some help of it, and you want to join this wonderful event that she's putting on. It's called the Pave the Way Mental Health Summit, going down on the 3 days, the 4th through the 7th, November. Go ahead and hit her up on Facebook, Michelle DeMaria, or just go straight to Be Daring Foundation on Facebook. B as in B-E-E, Daring Foundation. She's going to have workshops, networking like crazy, and all of this is virtual. So, yes, go ahead and go to Facebook and check her out, Be Daring Foundation. Also, Patrick Peterson is going to be out on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, he will be out in the public doing a charity service, feeding the homeless. This is something he has committed to throughout the whole season. So every Tuesday during the football season, P2 will be out throughout the valley at the UMOM shelters around the valley. UMOM shelters around the valley, donating his time, I should say, and feeding the homeless. And he wants you, Bird Gang, to donate. If you can donate to this cause at the same time, come out and spend some time out there with him to help feed the homeless. He is doing a public service, so please, no autographs and things of that nature. Just come out and support P2, as you know Bird Gang always does. Then I got my man, Mike Durarte. If you want to get the best mask, custom mask for the Bird Gang and for the Cardinal games coming up probably this season at some point, you want to go to Mike Durarte to get your mask. He is the best in the biz when it comes to art and photography, and so you can get your custom-made mask via Mike Durarte on Facebook. That's Durarte, that's Y-D-U-A-R-T-E, and you can get your mask straight from him from Instagram and Facebook. Not only that, he's got a lot of selection of T-shirts as well, and one of the major ones that's really going hot right now is the Devin Booker with the ghost of Kobe hovering over him after that major shot he made in the bubble. It's an awesome shirt, and you want to go ahead and get that if you want to on Mike Durarte's Facebook page as well. They're going fast, although he can custom make it for you, but he's got a lot of orders, so if you want to get in one, go ahead and hit him up right now, both Instagram and Facebook. And those are our Bird Gang announcements for right now. And, wow, I just got word from my man that the Mercury just advanced in the playoffs tonight on a buzzer beater. Wow. Good job. Good job. Wow. Amazing. A lot of amazing basketball tonight. So you know what that means.
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
In the casual house.
NBA basketball is what's going on, and a lot of it going down from the WNBA to the NBA. Our Phoenix Mercury have advanced tonight. I just got that word from my man Sean through text that when I last watched that game, they were down 11 or 13, and they came back and won the game. So props to the WNBA. And I know my man Paul's going crazy. He's going to be covering that, so I'm going to be checking him out to go figure out how the heck how that went down, because I did not get to watch it. Too many other things I'm doing and too many other things to look at, like the choking Clippers that just got punked tonight by the Denver Nuggets. And I mean, they got punched in the mouth. Denver came out there loose, but at the same time played like the team has been together longer than any other team. They have. They've been together for a while, and they know how to gel together as a team. And Murray and Jokic are playing out of this world right now and just pretty much punched the Clippers in the mouth. That game got tight down the stretch, and they start bricking houses. They start putting houses together, shooting them bricks, and turning the ball over. They look erratic. They look like they had never seen a playoff game before in their life. But the Nuggets are the only team in NBA history out of 74 years or something of NBA basketball to come back from a 3-1 deficit in the same playoff series. I mean, the same playoffs in 2 series. Wow. That is incredible. And do not sleep on this team that they can't beat that Laker team. Trust me. I said this yesterday. If you sleep on them that they can't beat that team, you ain't watching NBA basketball. You don't know basketball. This team is locked in, first of all. Second of all, they have been together longer than both those L.A. teams have. Both those L.A. teams were new teams. This Nugget team has been failing in the playoffs the last 3 years. So they are coming around the corner now. They know they're tired of losing it. So that's going to be the key. You got to fail to make it to the next step. And their next step is getting to that championship. And the Lakers are in their way. And if they're not ready to battle the way LeBron's going to be ready to battle in this whole thing, they're going to get taken out too. This Nugget team is no joke. And I know it's easy now for everybody to jump on board and start talking about them now because they're doing what they're doing and nobody was really saying it before. But they are legit. And they have been together longer than both those teams in the West right now, at both those L.A. teams. So, I mean, Jokic can match up to AD, and AD's going to figure it out that he hasn't been in the playoffs that long as far as that far. So he'll probably fade away a little bit in that next series too. Just mark my words. The playoffs are that type of monster. They test who you really are. They bring that pressure point brings out who you really are under pressure. When you're under the most pressure, who you really are comes out. And sometimes you got to fail, but the times when you fail too many times, you got to either overcome or you're going to keep failing. This Clipper team has been together this 1 year with the new guys, so, okay, they failed. This is their failure now. So next year they cannot come out and be looking like they looked in this game. Game 7. Wait, let me stop. Not just Game 7, Game 6 and Game 5, they just look like crap. Nuggets. How do you lose a 16-point lead in the second half or a 19-point lead in the second half in Game 6 and lose those games, and then in Game 7 you go down 15 with 2 minutes left in the game? I mean, that's just either the other team has just punched you in the face and you quit, or they just that better than you. I don't know, but, man, the Clippers sure did disappoint their fans again. And all that talk was going down about the L.A. series, and Denver said, "Nah, hold on a second, we ain't having none of that. You got to play out here, buddy, to earn that." I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to start seeing some tweets going out from some guys that were in some fights with the Clippers during this whole playoffs, like Dame Lillard. He might be sending a tweet out later to them Clippers for talking all that crap, So that's just how it is. When you run your mouth, you always got to something's going to come up and bite you. So interesting. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets for just going in there, doing what they had to do, and not faltering. They just went in there with a strong team effort and played together. And whatever happened, happens, and they end up winning the game. So props to the Nuggets. L.A. Lakers bet not get too lax, thinking that that's the easy way into the championship, because that's probably the toughest way in. You got a team hot like that and a team that knows how to win, and a team that's got 2 stars that are just playing absolutely the best basketball I have seen in a long, long time. Also, another game went down in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm telling you, if this series is going to look like this, you do not want to miss one of these games. Overtime in the first game, and boy, was that a defensive battle for both teams, back and forth. The biggest lead in that game, I believe, was 10 points, and or 9 or 8 points, one of those two. But back and forth they go, and when you got defensive teams like that are going to scrap and battle no matter what, that's must see TV, and it lived up to the hype. And I, for one, being old school the way I am, y'all know me. I'm old school. I don't particularly like this new stuff and this 3-point barrage crap. I'm not good with that. When I saw the Celtics and Heat down the stretch of that overtime, going to the rim, attacking, I was elated. I'm sitting in my chair like, now that's what I'm talking about. I'm sitting there screaming. That's what I'm talking about. When Bam blocked that last shot, that's a man block right there. That's a step up to the plate, man, straight out man block right there. And give Tatum some credit, too. He didn't come soft. This is game freaking 7. You come with everything. He came in there trying to tomahawk that thing on him, and Bam said, block that sucker, game over. That is how a playoff game is supposed to be played. I call that a game 7. It wasn't game 7. It was game 1, darn it. But that's how a playoff game is supposed to be played. When it's on the line and game 1 is that important to get off to the start, that's how you ball out defensively. And Bam Adebayo just said, no way, buddy. You're not getting that dunk on me. It would have been either way. It would have been a spectacular way to win a game from the Celtics getting a dunk, or the Heat, of course, with that block, winning it. And I love it that it's been done on defense. So get ready for that series. It's going to be probably games. It's probably going to be 7 games. It's probably going to be 7 games. And all my little NBA bracket thing that I did pretty much got destroyed tonight because the Clippers went down. I'm pretty sure everybody were out now because everybody had them walking into the championship. So much for that. Nobody's got the Nuggets on their list, I'm sure. But anyway, that was awesome. That game was awesome. What else is going on in the world of sports? What else is going on? We'll come back to some of those NBA games, I'm sure, either tonight or tomorrow. We got tomorrow's show. No NBA is going to be on tomorrow, I'm sure. Oh, no. Yeah, no tomorrow. Should be no NBA on tomorrow. So we have plenty of time to dissect those NBA games. But those were some pretty awesome games tonight that I had to do this show late because I had to watch them. Sorry. But what else is going on in the world of sport? The MLB has finally put together the sites of all of the playoff games for the putting a bubble together for each of those playoff sites for the playoffs in the Major League Baseball. And they know they had to do the bubble thing. There was no way you can try to continue to do this thing going back and forth through traveling, and you've already had all these breakouts and things like that. So they're finally going to put a bubble together for the playoffs. And I don't have all of the major details of what that bubble's going to entail as far as teams being able to go where they need to go, or they're going to be staying there and can't leave the bubble until they're just like the NBA. I'm pretty sure that's what the bubble's for. But the best of 3 first round is really interesting to me. The postseason, they expanded from the 10 to 16 teams this year. Of course, we know that. But all those games will be the home teams are the top seeded teams will have the home advantage, and they're not going to travel back and forth in those games. Best of 3, and the other team does not get to travel to their home one time. That's whether that's fair or not, who knows? It's just 3 games, and you got to that point where you are barely hanging on to the playoffs to begin with. So why should you get any extra incentive to try to to get a win? But I mean, if this had been a regular season without the COVID-19, I'm probably pretty sure it'd have been 1-1. I mean, 1-2 for the top seeded team would be the one with 2 games, and the other one at least get 1 at home. But not in these playoffs. This COVID-19 thing has flipped everything and turned everything. So now you're in the first round. You don't get to see home. You got to go to the other team's spot. I guess the good news, if you want to see a silver lining, the good news would be there is no other team fans you got to deal with. It's still going to be an empty building. So it's going to pretty much look like it would look if it was in your spot. So it really doesn't matter. So I guess that cancels it out. The American League Championship Series will be played in San Diego's Petco Park, and the National League will be at Globe Life Park in Houston, as well in Texas. So interesting. They find some spots, and those are going to be different bubbles. It's not going to be one bubble. It's going to be a series of bubbles. And that is going to probably be the blueprint for the NFL when they start their playoffs down the stretch as well, I'm pretty sure. So good deal for baseball for trying to get that done. They should have did that somehow with all the season, but as impossible as it may have seemed, I'm pretty sure they could have done something. But they were the guinea pig for this thing, and they went out and showed everybody what they have to do now, because those breakouts can come at any point in time. You have no clue how they're going to break out. One thing about the division series, the league championship series, they have eliminated all off days. So you're going to be playing straight through, no off days. So those traditional off days that they were, that they usually get during those series, they're not getting them. And the World Series is going to be played in Texas Rangers Stadium at which is Globe Life Field. It is, right? Yeah, it's Globe Life Park, which is, of course, the Texas Rangers are not going to be there. They're nowhere near the playoffs. So, but the World Series, they will continue to keep the 2 days they get off. So they're not playing straight through on the World Series. They get their 2 days off. But everything else before that is going to play straight through, which is not that big of a deal for baseball because they play those type of games all season long anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Other news in the Major League Baseball from our Diamondbacks is, of course, we know we released Jake Lamb a couple of days ago, and he got picked up by the Oakland A's and instantly already did some positive things on that team. And it's like, wow, how come every person that leaves this team goes somewhere else and instantly they're better? Is it this organization? What are they doing here that is making people go into a funk, and then they come right out of that funk when they go somewhere else? That is really amazing to me. And I don't have to go through the rundown because y'all know the rundown, who the people are. They come here from other teams and they stink, and then they leave from here and go to other teams and they become better players. Something's wrong somewhere with the Diamondback organization that's causing that. I don't think that's just happening just to be happening or by coincidence. Something's going wrong somewhere how we do things here. I don't know. I'm going to look at Torey Lovullo just in one aspect. I'm not going to say the whole thing is his fault because he's a good manager as far as I know. But one thing I have noticed just by watching him throughout the whole time he's been here as a skipper, he needs to be a little bit more aggressive with these players in the media, calling them out. He needs to get a little bit more aggressive as to saying who's not doing what, and got to be more aggressive at pulling guys when they're stinking up the field. He holds on way too long. And, I mean, like I told y'all, that Archie Bradley and Chafin and all those guys that got taken out of here I thought it was all a whole year late. Those guys have been, Robbie Ray, those guys have been stinking up the dang diamond for 3 years trying to get back to where they were when they were all, when they were good. So you hold on too long, man. I mean, I know he's trying to be loyal to these players, but performance is everything in sports. If you're not performing, you got to go, period. That's just how it goes. And Torey Lovullo held on way too long with that team. And even now, he's still trying to say some positive things. This team stinks. Ain't nothing positive coming out of this. Nothing positive coming out of this. Except probably for Zach Gallen, the pitcher. He's the only thing I can see that's positive. But everything else is just, oh, man, this is ugly. Typical Arizona. Also, what else can we talk about? We already talked about the NBA playoffs, but a little bit more than NBA. The Toronto Raptors extend Nick Nurse, and that is a good thing to do because he is one hell of a coach. Knows how to get or maximize everything out of his team. He doesn't have a lot to work with when it comes to superstars. He just takes what he has and man, he has done a marvelous job to keep that team to go as far as they went in that playoffs without Kawhi Leonard like they did last year. That's impressive to me. They got to get the superstar guy that's supposed to be their superstar. He had a bad series. Pascal Siakam had a bad series. I mean, I don't know if it was just the defense getting him locked or getting him out of his head, or was it just the moment. I don't know, but he could not make a bucket for nothing in crucial moments. So he's got to come back better because he is their superstar. They could end up losing Fred VanVleet if they don't sign him, or his free agency wise, he might end up getting paid somewhere else too. So I don't know, but Siakam just had a really rough series, so he has to. That's his failing. Like I was talking about, you got to fail to continue to go on. Because remember, he had it easy. He had it easy last year. Well, not easy, but I mean, Kawhi was carrying that load last year. But now you have to be the man, and that's not easy to do. And he found out it was not easy to do. So, good player though, but I think he will learn from this. Also, the Milwaukee Bucks are trying to convince Giannis Antetokounmpo not to leave. Now, you got to be thinking that that's what he's thinking because of how that thing ended. And I'm not talking about the injury. I'm talking about him trusting the team they put around him, because they just come out and said to him and his agent that they are going to do whatever it takes to spend to get a cast of players around him going into the next season. The Bucks payroll is going to be close to about $132.7 million in luxury tax on the threshold for 2020 and 21. And I don't know if that's going to change because of COVID-19. There's a possibility that can all change. But that Antetokounmpo is going to get the Supermax, which is going to be about 35% of the Bucks cap. So you're talking about $220 to $250 million for that kid for 5 years. That's the max for him, and he's worth every penny of it, of course. But will he take it from the Milwaukee Bucks? Because he's going to get that anywhere else he goes. So if he feels he could go somewhere and get that and have a better unit around him, he probably would take that route. But then again, if you go to a new unit, then it's going to take you some time to get used to that new unit. You're not going to just excel the first time you go together and get with another unit. So it's probably best to keep some of the current unit together that he's familiar with and they're familiar with him. And then you just bring in a couple of pieces, major pieces that can help out. And that's probably what's going to end up happening. That's probably the smartest thing that Giannis could do, is to stay in the East, first of all, but also stay with a team that he's familiar with, that he doesn't have to try to continue to work and try to build up to something. You're probably in your final steps of building a good team. You just probably one good superstar away to help him because he needs some help. Middleton, to me, is a number 3 guy. I don't think he's supposed to be a 2. A number 3 outside shooter that can fill it up and help out as a number 3 scorer. They need one more guy to help Giannis out, and that's probably all they're missing, because they got some role players that, that do the dirty work and stuff on the inside and defensively. So, and maybe point guard. They might want to change point guards, because I don't know if Bledsoe doesn't, in the crucial big playoff moments, not that he's been there that many times, but I mean, bigger games, he kind of fades away too. So you might want to look into that Chris Paul thing. Can you handle that salary plus Giannis on a max? Who knows? We'll see. But Giannis doesn't look like the type of person to me that's going to be trying to leave that organization. Especially his brother is there, right? His brother is still there, I think. So, yeah. So, I mean, not to say that you would make that decision based on your brother being there, but it could help. But he is going to be probably looking out the door to see what's out there, to say, hey, maybe there's a better opportunity that I could see something else. But for the most part, his best bet to me would probably be to stay, maybe not in Milwaukee, but stay in the East. Don't come to the West, because if you come to the West, this dang cluster over here of teams getting better and better and better is going to be hard to get through. Ask the Clippers. But Milwaukee had to do something early because the fear factor of losing him came real quick. But also, the head coaching candidates some head coaching candidates are popping up for these teams that are going to be looking for head coaches. Of course, we just know that Houston Rockets jobs came open. And so with that, the OKC, Indiana, Philly, Chicago, New Orleans, and maybe one other one I might be missing. Those jobs are open. And I'm posing this question is, which team does Mike D'Antoni fit? Because he's saying he wants to continue to coach. I personally don't think any GM, if there's any sense in your head, to go back and do your homework and see that system does not work in the playoffs. Let me rephrase that. That system does not work past the second round in the playoffs. So it might get you regular season accolades and regular season numbers. First round maybe get you out because the first round is always still that high scoring and run around and ball going up all crazy. Second round gets to the tightness where teams are playing defense and something that system does not do. So anybody that's a GM or owner right now, I'm really interested to see who's going to put that thing down and say this is our coach for the future to get us over the hump, to get us to the championship, having not seen it done yet. That's just me. I don't want to see that system in this league anymore. I really don't. And whoever comes and takes over that Houston job, Harden and Westbrook are going to have to do some changing because that system is not the way. That system is just horrible. Small ball, dribble, step back three. I'm sorry, that's ugly basketball to me. Three-pointers are becoming like the go-to shot in this league now. And it's like you got the clock running down. I saw this today in the Celtics game when they had a chance to win the game in regulation, and Tatum has the ball in his hands, and it's clock running down 5, 4, 6. When he gets to 6, 5, 4, and he's still standing on the three-point line, you already know he conceded to taking that three-point shot. He didn't even take an effort to go to the rim. Takes his step back further out longer and shoots it way out there and no good. They could have won the game at that point if he had got aggressive and went to the rim like he did on the one in overtime. That's my point. This new three-point stuff is just horrible basketball. It's called it. To me, I've always seen it. It's called bailout basketball when you don't want contact. Pull up on the three because you don't want the contact. Give me the easy way out. Playoff basketball, defensive basketball is hard. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be buckle down, battle in the paint, battle out, use your teammates type of thing to win games. But you think you're going to sit back there and shoot a three and you're going to win a game shooting a three from further out from the three-point line? It's just crazy. And even though there are guys that can make that shot, I'm sorry. I'm still going to say that till day's end. That's a bad shot. When you don't get other people involved and you take the ball and dribble at the top and step to the side and shoot a 26-foot shot, 27-foot shot, 30-foot shot, that is horrible basketball. I'm sorry. I will forever say that. As exciting as you might think it may be, kids out there, it is not smart basketball. It's bailout basketball. That's easy, take the easy way out basketball. Jimmy Butler is hard basketball. When I saw what he did tonight, going to the basket with his head down no matter what and compromise at the rim when you get there and alter your shot and figure it out when you get to the rim, but get there. That's the type of basketball I'm talking about. I love that Heat team, and I love me some Tyler Hero. Rookie, balling. Don't look like he fazed at all by this playoff thing. And what better thing to come into the season as a rookie and get into a playoff series like that? That is going to make his career just leap bounds over a lot of these guys that haven't got there yet. I mean, my goodness, he is just lights out, and his focus is crazy tight. So I love me some Tyler Hero. I'm sorry, I do. Back on the Denver Nuggets, at the end of that thing, I saw Jokic. It just, a picture in my head just kind of went. I saw Jokic and Murray hugging at the end. I was like, man, that's got to be D-Book and Aiden one day, right? It's got to be them to accomplish that feat one day where they can take down a powerhouse team and win a playoff series like that. one day it's got to be coming for us Phoenix Suns here at some point because we got too much talent. Those two guys got too much talent for it not to happen. So hopefully they'll take that next step next year and get in a playoff series so they can learn how to win one. But that's for a different discussion. But I just thought, man, that would be cool to see our guy doing that. But Jamal Murray has went into another level when it comes to that. Around the NFL, though, more injuries have popped up. And I gave you guys a list of them yesterday, but more have popped off, and they all jump on the casualties report.
Who that? Who did?
Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
More injuries, man, and you gotta blame some of these injuries on, of course, and this is NFL. You gotta blame this on no off season, no workout regimen. Everything changed all up. No preseason to get acclimated to tackling and get acclimated to being hit and acclimated to pulling muscles and having to use every muscle to do certain things that you got to do to block the other guy or get around the other guy or move the other guy, or whatever it may be. These acute little injuries are popping up all over the dang league already in game one of the season. And some season-ending injuries have popped up. And I gave you guys a big list yesterday, and this is just to add to that list. The Saints' Michael Thomas went down. He's going to be out maybe a couple of weeks. He definitely will miss this Monday night game that's coming up. The Steelers lose their right tackle, Banner, out for the season. Lev Bell is on IR right now with a hamstring. He'll be out a couple of weeks. And those are just some of the new guys that are added to the ones that have already been on this list. Of course, the Cardinals, we know DJ Humphries, Jalen Thompson, and Mason Cole are out. No word on Humphries, though, and that scares me. That scares me that they're not telling us, they don't want us to know something that's probably bad news. The way he sat down on the field after that game, I kind of figured something wasn't right. He saw something that definitely wasn't right. So, and he looked really, really, really disappointed and concerned at the same time when he was sitting there. So I'm hoping that's not a season-ending injury, because we are on this level right now where we look like we're ready to take the next step, and we're going to need DJ to be there. But their depth on the offensive line has done an awesome job in that game. So maybe going forward, it might put people in different spots to make up for the difference. Jalen Thompson, ankle. Mason Cole, out. Those are injuries that are probably like a few weeks, and we just don't know the timing of when they will be back. That is the casualties report, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the practices and games are going to go by, and we're only in week 2 coming up. So this is what we got to go through, having COVID-19 controlling everything. Other NFL news, though, the lack of wide receiver play for the 49ers in that Cardinal game showed up big time, and their two starters being out, Brandon Ayuk and of course Deebo Samuel being out. Looks like those two are going to be out a little longer. So the 49ers went out and got free agent who just got released from the Patriots, Mohamed Sanu. He just got picked up by the 49ers. So they got to get him in their system and get him rolling, but they needed receivers, and they picked him up. So that tells you just how much they were lacking. And a lot of things went down in San Francisco. I did some looking over in San Francisco's news. California and all of San Francisco is in an uproar right now about their team. A lot of questions about why this, why that. But the main thing is Jimmy G the man for this job? And wow, you start to even question that early on. One game can cause you to question your starting quarterback. But you got to remember, they're questioning their starting quarterback based on what happened in the Super Bowl as well. So they think this guy might not be the guy that can get it done when it comes to a crunch time game because he had Bourne on that spot. He had Patrick Peterson beat, and he underthrew it and allowed Peterson to get back into that play. And that's one of the plays they're looking at and saying, this guy just doesn't get it. This guy's not going to be the winning guy down the stretch. He can make plays throughout the game because that system allows him to make plays because he's getting those bootlegs and he's getting that play action fake and he's getting Kittle coming wide open, and that running game kind of gets people off balance, and he can get those easy up the middle pass plays to tie it in. But when people cover the tight end, like the Cardinals did a lot better job at doing, you have to force Jimmy G to throw that ball outside to those wideouts. And they didn't have the receivers, first of all. And second of all, when he had the chance to hit those receivers, Jimmy G missed on those receivers. So is he still the man? Of course he's still the man. I mean, you can't just, give up on a guy that has a bad game in game one. But a lot of articles I saw also about the question of, we should have did that Brady deal. No, I still think that would have been a stupid move. So you don't take a 43-year-old guy that's on his way out the door on his last limbs for a one-season run that might not happen because you're trying to gel with some people he hasn't played with before. So I'm not buying that. I was not buying it when Deion Sanders started that talk, because that's where it started from. Everybody just followed what that guy said. He was at the NFL Combine on the field and just popped in his head and said that they should go get Brady. And everybody ran with that, and it became the biggest and hottest story from that point on. And from that day, when I heard it, I said that was the stupidest thing they could ever do if they do that. You can't get rid of a quarterback that gets you to a Super Bowl and one or two plays away from winning it, and go back to one that probably on his way out the door. Yes, he's won Super Bowls, but it's going to take time to get that team to gel with that new quarterback. Just look at Tampa Bay. I told everybody that was not going to just be fluent and rolling, and it's not. And Bruce Arians is already impatient in game one, and he's already saying some stuff about Brady in the dang on press that he wasn't impressed about and he thought would be better. And I'm like, dude, calm down. I don't care who you put in a new system. They got to come and get acclimated to that new system. They got to come and get acclimated to those new players and those new receivers. And it ain't going to happen without an off season. It ain't going to happen without preseason games. And it ain't going to happen game one on a COVID-19 season. Calm down, BA. Calm down, baby. I mean, come on now. I mean, I know that's Brady, and everybody expects all this greatness from Brady, but he's a human being. And so why do you think Belichick can win this competition between him and Brady? Because Belichick's system is going to be in place no matter what. He could put piece after piece after piece, small piece, big piece, medium piece. It don't matter the pieces. That system's going to be effective. And now he's adding a Cam Newton that can run to that system too. So Belichick just knows how to adapt. When you're 43 years old, your bones and your whole body is not going to just adapt and go back 10 years earlier and be that same person. It's not going to happen. At some point, that body's going to get worse and start to shut down on you from that physical type of play, or that physical type of beating you putting it through. You're going to age. You're going to get older. That arm is going to lose strength. Those knees and those legs are going to be aching and ailing after every game. You take big hits, it's going to take longer for you to recover from them. That's just the art of aging. That's how it goes. Nobody can beat that. Stop giving this man like he's God and he's supposed to just come through no matter what. The man has had his time. His prime has been way past. You're trying to squeeze this orange out of every little juice you can get out of it because of what he's already given you, that sweet juice that came from it before. You want that. It's a little bit sour right now because you got the end of it right now, and you're trying to squeeze it and get every little drop out of it. I'm telling everybody right now, this is his last year playing. Just look at him. If he doesn't get this thing under control mid-season and get it rolling by mid-season, which he probably will, but it's not going to look like everybody wants it to look like this high-powered offense firing on all cylinders, throwing the ball deep. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to look a little bit like the New England Patriots, with every once in a while a BA deep ball here and there. The man does not have the same arm strength. Yes, he still has the same IQ, but at the same time, he's learning the new verbiage and learning a new system and learning new receivers, which takes time to do. And then it didn't help them that he played a powerhouse team that's already knows how to play together. So everybody is just, even BA, up in arms over nothing, really, to me. I mean, give the guy a break. He's a human being. He's not a god. Man, the media, we can be moment to moment. Next week, they're going to be praising him because he might have a better game because they're playing a lighter team next week. So, I mean, come on now, whatever. But let me take a quick break. I didn't ran through all my breaks. I got to get those sponsors they do. So stick around, Bird Gang. I'll be right back.
Take a little break, but we'll be back in a while, so don't nobody go nowhere.
This is Larry Fitzgerald. You listen to the exclusive voice of the Bird Gang, Kazual Sportz.
Hey Bird Gang, this is Chase Evans, and I ride with the exclusive voice of the Bird Gang, Kazual E. The Kazual Sports Show on KSR in Arizona.
This is Cliff Kingsbury, and you're listening to the second best sounding voice in the Valley, Kazual E, on the Kazual Sports Show here on KSR in Arizona.
Ask me how I'm feeling today. My walk say it all in my sway. Have a nice day. Can't fuck with my vibe today. I'm quick to say, go on about your way and have a nice day.
Welcome back.
I ain't trying to hear your problems today. Ain't got time.
Welcome back into the Kazual House. Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Kazual E, running solo tonight. And the Clippers got their walking papers tonight. They went to the dinner table and choked and had to go to the hospital and get relieved, and now they're out of the playoffs. And that's just how it goes when you overlook somebody and think you're supposed to just walk into the spot because you got this star-studded roster. Interesting. But anyway, that's going to be the topic, of course, all day tomorrow night, and, of course, all through the night and through every show from tomorrow on. That choke job. Want to get it back a little bit on the Cardinals game yesterday. Some things that I was looking at, and before I do that, I got to make a couple of observations about a few quarterbacks in this league that I'm thinking should already be a lot better, but just have not gotten it yet. When is Carson Wentz going to be this guy that everybody's been saying he's supposed to be? When is he going to be that superstar guy that everybody puts on a pedestal higher than these other quarterbacks and on the tier with these other good quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and all those guys? When is Carson Wentz going to get put where he really belongs, at mediocrity? I mean, I haven't seen anything from him other than that first year where he really shined in his rookie year, and then the year after he kind of got a little, some things, that looked really good. And then after the injuries and stuff, he's just not the same player. And then when he comes back from the injuries, he's doing the same things that's got himself injured, and he's not being a smart quarterback by stop taking so many unnecessary hits for nothing just to be proving you tough. I mean, these quarterbacks going to have to start learning from Kyler how to slide, how to manage their hits. Kyler ran 13 times yesterday. Of those 13, 8 times he was on the ground sliding, and the other times running out of bounds. And everybody look at that and go, oh, he doesn't want to get, no, hey, well, you can call it what you want to. Then when he gets up and he's still got all of his extremities and he ain't got a concussion and he's cool, and he can come back on the next play and kill you again and keep killing you the whole game, he's showing you that's how to survive in this league as a quarterback, not just a undersized quarterback. All running quarterbacks should be like that. Cam Newton, too. Why take the hits if you don't have to? Why take the hits if you don't have to? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Lamar Jackson, to me, Cam Newton, Carson Wentz, sometimes even Russell Wilson does it sometimes, where they just take on these DBs and take on these linebackers like they just Superman. And one of these days it's going to get you, like it's gotten Carson Wentz and Cam Newton. So, but Carson Wentz, man, he just looks like a average or under average quarterback to me right now. I mean, you go up 17 points to the Washington football team and you lose? Wow, unbelievable. Time to step it up, man. It's been way past time. You've been there 5 years, dude. You're supposed to be better than that by now. And that Eagle team, I'm pretty sure they're saying the same thing. You can say the same thing about Baker Mayfield. Number 1 overall pick, supposed to be on his way ascending by now. Baker's still back in that struggle. He kind of reminds me of a modern-day Jay Cutler. He looks, no different. They got the same number, the whole 9. A gunslinger that just slings it, don't understand why he's slinging it, just letting it go, thinking it's going to go where it's going to go, and just take his chances on trying to get it somewhere. Thinking he's a mobile quarterback and not standing in that pocket. It's just incredible to me why this kid can't get going with all that talent on that team. So now you got to start wondering, is it me? You got all that talent. Is it you, Baker? Man, it could be. You maybe not who you think you are. But everybody's going to be watching that for sure. 21 out of 39 for 189 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 INT. How do you throw the ball almost 40 times and get 180 yards? Man, 21 completions and you get 189 yards. That's incredible to me. Stats that just don't add up. Like I heard Paul talk about when he hit it right on the nose about the Falcons and Matt Ryan. Same thing. Okay, Matt, yeah, you got them to a Super Bowl, but when are you going to get them to the next level and stop being this juggernaut offense that can move the ball between the 10s but can't score in the red zone? You got to get that team over the hump and start scoring points. You out-yard everybody. More yards than every team, but you lose games. You got the best receiver in the game, and you can't get him in the end zone. Something's up with that team, and this is just like this stat line for Baker Mayfield. But I don't know. Is it those receivers chopping in his ear saying, I'm open. When they get open, when it's crucial time, they drop the ball too. Odell Beckham, supposed to be superstar. Maybe you should have opted out because his mind is not there. But anyway, I know I got a lot I could still be talking about, but the Cardinal game, I wanted to look at Isaiah Simmons. And I'm looking at him this week against this Washington team, and I'm thinking, okay, he's got a rookie quarterback he's going to be going up against. You can't let this – well, not rookie, second-year quarterback that's still trying to learn the traits and learn everything. You can't let this second-year guy make you look stupid. You got to go out there a little more sound, like because you got turned around topsy-turvy with that Kyle Shanahan system. They had him going in different directions and making the wrong reads and all those things. So hopefully he can come back, study a little harder, understand to calm himself down a little bit more, because he did calm down and made some pretty good tackles in that game after the fact. But I want to look at this play of him getting beat and giving up the momentum in that game early because of him getting beat on a play that is a pretty simple play when you think about it. When you think about it, it's a pretty simple play. Watch this. On this play right here, you're going to see him where he's lined up. He runs out there to the running back in the flat and gets beat. He gets beat so bad that even his safeties can't catch this guy down the middle because he left the middle so wide open. Watch this one more time. They're going to show it again. Oh, I love that dance. But right here is where he is, and the running back's going to come out of the flat. He's going to think that Jimmy G's throwing it to him because he's watching Jimmy G's eyes, and he thought it was a pass in the flat, but the running back came to the middle, bam, money gone. You're playing man-to-man. That's where you're supposed to go ahead and stay in man-to-man and stay with your guy. You stay with your guy. And even though he was in the right area, he overcommits right here and goes way too far out on the edge, giving the running back the inside, and bam. Now his safety's out of position. Why was his safety out of position? Maybe he was watching him run to the flat thinking the ball was in the flat. So he got fooled on that play too. But discipline is the name of the game when it comes to NFL football. You got to be disciplined. When you're in man-to-man, be man-to-man and stay disciplined with your man. Don't try to be a hero and jump a route you think is coming that might not be coming. Because that's how you get beat in this league. And I'm sure he's going to learn that. And he's going to have plenty of opportunity because they're not going to sit this kid down. He's too talented to be on the bench. You got to throw him in the fire and let him learn it on the go. But you can't let him learn it on the go at the team's expense of winning games, which is why he only played 18 snaps. They had to pull him because it's like, okay, we got to get concentrating on this game and win this game. We can't have too many more mistakes like that, so we got to pull the kid. And next week, we'll put him out there and see how he does. And if he continues to make mistakes, got to keep pulling him because it's time to win the games. We got to go win these games. We don't have time for sitting back and allowing a rookie to be the cause of losing a game. Can't do it. That almost happened on that game if they didn't bounce back with that special teams play to get them, on some momentum going and going in the right direction. But the Cardinals are 1-0. Most people thought they were going to be 0-1 for sure. A lot of y'all did. I'm sure you did. But they're 1-0. Was that a pretty win? No. None of those wins in the NFC West come pretty. They all come kind of ugly like that. So you take that win because you out-physicaled that team. And they're the most physical team that I know. And the Cardinals have played them 3 times physical. Lost 2, and now they just get over the hump and win this one. So that's a good sign going forward. We got to cut down on our penalties. We had 9 penalties in that game for 102 yards. And we got to be a lot more disciplined when it comes to penalties. One part of that game that a lot of people I haven't heard talk about, everybody's concentrating on what we did, in crunch time, what Kyler did running the ball and all those things. There's some things that were part of that game that were really key to them actually winning that game. The first thing is stopping the 49ers on 3rd down. That was big in that game. 2 for 11 on 3rd down, the 49ers were. And then the Cardinals on 3rd down were 50%. And that's good. That's how you continue to frustrate teams when you pick up big 3rd downs that you're not supposed to pick up. I thought that was a big key to that ball game was 3rd down. Excuse me. But then the other key that everybody's missing was field position. Flipping the field was very vital in this game. Very vital. When they got the goal line stand and they're on their inch-yard line, for them to take that ball and drive it methodically, drive it, get it past the 50-yard line. The drive may have stalled, yes, but that is a win when you can flip the field position because they could have went 3 and out on that goal line and gave the 49ers the ball right back past the 50-yard line in their own territory, and bam, they come right back down and they score those points that you stopped them on that goal line stance would have came to nothing. So flipping that field position was important. They did that twice in this game. They did it twice. And those were keys to this game when they flipped that field position and allowed the 49ers to have to go a longer distance with that little dink and dunk plays they were doing. And the defense balled out. They wasn't perfect, but they played in crucial moments in that game, especially flipping field position, because that was vital to me in the game. We got a lot still left on this game to talk about. I think I'm going to finish my Cardinal talk about that particular game tomorrow, and I'm going to go into dissecting the next game of the matchup that's in the next one, because that Washington team is on the high right now as well. You know, their defensive front right now, I mean, it's pretty good. It's packed with a lot of first-round picks, legitimate, tough guys that put on a show on Sunday and punked the Eagles around. So we got to keep our eyes on that, and we're going to be talking about that Washington football team coming up tomorrow. So, Bird Gang, I appreciate you coming into the Casual House tonight. I was going to do some Can't Get Right, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow's show. I should have my man Ed Cole sitting in with me tomorrow. And, of course, the Neutral Zone is coming up on Thursday night. We're going to have a special guest in the house. You don't want to miss that. So until tomorrow, Bird Gang, from Earl Burnett, peace out.